Hey guys, Jen Sharp here from Sharp Coaching. I'm going to lead you through a really restorative yoga flow. What you're going to need today for today's practice are two yoga blankets and two blocks. You don't necessarily need a blanket, you could also use a towel. So I'm going to show you how to fold your towel. So go ahead and put me on pause while you gather those items, and I'll be right here for when you get back. So once you have your towel, go ahead and open it up, or your blanket, and you're going to fold it in half with the short ends meeting. And then from here, I'm going to go ahead and fold it in half this way. So I get a nice longer rectangle. Great, that's going to be one of your towels and or blankets. The other towel or blanket, you're going to fold in half again, short ends together. And then we're going to just make a nice little roll, rolling, making almost like a nice big burrito. And you can set that at the end of your yoga mat. I've got some over here that I'm going to use. Great, now taking that towel that you folded into a rectangle, you can go ahead and put that across your mat as though it was a T, into the shape of a T. Then go ahead and lower yourself down onto your back, resting your shoulder blades at the very tip of that blanket, so that my lower back and my middle back are laying on the blanket or towel, and my knees are bent toward the ceiling. Feet can be about hip width apart or a little wider. Just gonna land here and take a moment to maybe wash your shoulder blades down your back. Your arms can either be at your sides, or maybe you like them back behind your head. Maybe your feet or your knees touch. And this is really a great moment to close your eyes and go inside. And just take a moment to let the ground meet your body. And start to notice the quality of your breath. Can you lengthen your breath? On the inhale, see if you can rise your belly up. And then exhale, let your belly fall down into the blanket. Maybe it feels more comfortable to let your arms come up into a goalpost, letting your head come down into the yoga mat. And just take a few moments here to really arrive, to let go of whatever stress you've had today, this week, this month, this year. And when you exhale, just let your body melt into the floor. As you inhale, see if you can give your breath a little bit of an audible quality, almost like the sound of the ocean. And then on the exhale, exhale a little louder through the back of your throat and through your nose. Maybe you need to adjust your body a little bit, getting a little more comfortable. If there are any discomforting spots in your body, just see if you can adjust just a little bit more to let your body just land here. Good. Let's count down 5 more breaths together. Exhale everything out of your lungs. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, fill the belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Do the last one on your own. Good. Gently bring your hands onto your belly. And take another one of those deep breaths and notice how your belly expands on the inhale and how it goes down on the exhale. Good. Reach your right leg long. Stretch the left leg up and over. Then reach your arms long up and overhead. Grab your left wrist with your right hand. Give yourself maybe a little bend over to the right, getting a nice side body stretch on the left side of your body. Breathe here. Good. Come back through center. Release the clasp of your wrist. Untwist your leg. Left leg long. Right leg crosses up and over the left. And grab your right wrist with your left hand. And maybe you do a nice little side twist or side bend to the left. Nothing too forced, just meeting your body wherever it is. And breathing into any tight sensations you may have in the body. Good. Come back through center. Bring your feet to the floor, knees bent toward the ceiling. Take your feet as wide as your mat. From here, shift your knees over to the right, getting a nice little twist in the spine. Left arm stays reaching toward the top of the room. You can use that right hand to guide your ribs. Maybe feel the intercostals, so the little space between your ribs. And just notice if there's any tightness there. If you can breathe into any of those areas that are just holding on to any tension. Good. Bring that right arm up along by the left. Shift your knees up toward the ceiling and switch sides, bringing your knees to the left. Keeping that right arm long, reaching high behind you, and then taking that left hand and guiding it to your ribs. Maybe massaging in between your ribs, your intercostals. Again, if you notice you have any tight areas, you can go ahead and just pause there and breathe into them. Good. Bring your knees back through center. You can goalpost your arms. Shift your hips slightly over to the right. And stacking your knees together, Bring them over to the left, getting a little deeper of a twist. Breathing here. Good. Bring your knees back through center. Shift your hips back to center. Take a moment to pause there. And then bring your hips slightly over to the left. Your knees stacked together as they guide over to the right, getting a nice twist in the body. If it's more comfortable for you, you can keep that left knee facing up toward the ceiling. Just meet your body wherever it's most comfortable, wherever feels good. If anything is uncomfortable, back it off. Good, one more breath here. Excellent, bring your knees back toward the ceiling. Interlace your fingers back behind your head. Shift your hips so they're centered. Good, bring the soles of your feet together, the knees wide. We're going to do a little bit of a butterfly sit-up. So we're going to bring our knees and our elbows up halfway. We're going to tuck our navel in toward the towel or blanket that you have underneath you, doing somewhat of a half sit-up, being super mindful of the breath. Good, exhale everything out. On an inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, let it down. We're doing a total of 5 of these. So inhale halfway, elbows meet toward each other, knees come toward each other. Exhale, that's 4. Inhale, elbows together, knees toward one another, navel in towards spine. Exhale, 3 more. Good, inhale, back up, navel in towards spine, elbows toward each other. Good, exhale, release, 2 more. Inhale, knees toward ceiling, elbows toward each other, navel in towards spine. Exhale, release. Good, last one. Inhale, come up, elbows up, knees up, belly in towards spine. Pause here for a moment. And then exhale, release it down to the ground. Good, release your legs long. Release your hands so they're goalpost arms. Excellent. Bring your knees toward the ceiling, feet planted into the ground. Shift your knees over to the right. Shift your body over to the right. Pause here. And then gently press yourself up and come to all fours. Good. From all fours, we can leave our blanket or towel where it is. You're welcome to. I'm going to put it actually directly underneath my hands. And instead of the traditional cat-cow, we're going to come into a puppy cat-cow. So bring your elbows down to the ground, your hands outstretched in front of you. Hips up toward the ceiling, hovering over your knees. And on an inhale, look up. Exhale, round the upper back. We're getting some mobility. Inhale, look up through the upper back, the thoracic spine. Exhale, round into cat, which is often super tight, especially when we're on the computer or the bicycle all day. Exhale, round the spine, belly in towards spine. Good, inhale, look up, heart forward. Exhale, press through your elbows and your hands, rounding the upper back, maybe tucking the chin in toward the chest. Good, come back through neutral. From here, bring your right hand to your left elbow, so it's across your body. Then spider walk those left fingers forward. Maybe your forehead comes down onto your forearm. Bring that left hip back, getting a nice pec stretch. Breathing here. Good, one more breath. Excellent. Release that left elbow down to the ground. Parallel your hands. And then bring your left hand to your right elbow. Spider walk those fingers forward. Maybe your forehead comes down onto your forearm. And then get a nice stretch through that right side of your pecs, your lats, bringing that right hip back. Breathing here. Good. One more breath. Excellent. Drop that right elbow down to the ground. Parallel your hands. And then gently press yourself back into child's pose. So your hips are coming towards your heels. Arms are stretching out in front of you. If you have some knee discomfort, you can actually stay up somewhat in puppy pose. So my hips are up toward the ceiling. Wherever you are, go ahead and walk your hands over to the right, getting a nice side body stretch on that left side of your body. Good, come back to center. And then slowly walk your hands over to the left. Breathing into those tight spaces. Maybe they're starting to release. Good, walk your hands back through center. And gently walk your hands to meet your knees. Coming back, sitting back either on your feet. If that's a little uncomfortable for you, you can sit up on your knees. If you're sitting on your feet, go ahead and reach back, getting a nice chest opener, heart open. If you're on your knees, you can reach your hands back as if you're pressing a wall behind you, getting a nice opener through the chest. Good. Three breaths here. Great. From here, you can go ahead and remove your blanket from out underneath your mat, setting that off to the side. We'll use that again in a little bit. Walk your hands forward, coming into tabletop. And from tabletop, tuck your toes, bring your belly in towards your spine, and lift your hips up toward the ceiling for down dog. And in down dog, stay on the balls of your feet, seeing how high you can get your to your toes. Good, really bending into the knees. Feeling this posture here, spreading your hands wide, shoulders washing down, back. And on your inhale, shift forward into plank. Pausing here, noticing how long my neck is with my spine. And then exhale, pressing back into down dog. Bent knees. Good, inhale, coming forward into plank. Exhale, back into down dog. Really bent knees. Good, last time, coming forward into plank. Pressing down through your hands. And exhale, back into down dog. Good, from here you can either walk your feet forward to your hands or walk your hands back to your feet. And then gently raise yourself up to a standing posture. Wash your shoulders down your back, palms facing the front of the room. And we're going to grab our blocks. My blocks are going to come to the front of the mat. They'll be about, a little further than hip width apart. And I'm going to have them stacked high. Feet are a little wider than hip width. I'm going to sink my heel into my hips, bending at the knees, and reach forward to grab the blocks. Using the blocks as a chest opener, looking out in front of you. Good. We're almost as if we're sitting, squatting deeply into a chair. Awesome. And then slowly press yourself up to a standing posture. Wash your shoulders down your back, palms facing the front of the room. Good. From here, go ahead and bring your hands back behind your head. Interlace your fingers. Press your head into your hands and root down through your feet. Spread wide through your feet. Connect them down into your mat. And we're going for a side bend. So bring your right elbow down, left elbow up toward the sky. Gaze can be up toward the ceiling, down at the ground, or out in front of you, whatever's comfortable. Getting a nice side stretch on that left side. Root down through your left foot. Good. Come back through center. And then bend over to the left. Right elbow up toward the sky. Gaze is wherever's comfortable. Good. Coming back through center. Awesome. A little back bend. So maybe you look up toward the ceiling, getting a nice gentle back bend. And on your exhale, come forward through neutral and bring your elbows toward one another as if we're doing another sit-up. Good. Navel in towards spine. On an inhale, expand your belly, elbows out wide, looking up toward the ceiling. Exhale, navel in towards spine, elbows in towards each other, as if you're sitting up. Good. Inhale, look up towards the ceiling, elbows wide. Exhale, back through neutral, elbows in toward each other, navel in towards spine. Good. One more of those. Inhale, look up toward the ceiling, a little back bend, elbows wide. Exhale, back through center, elbows in toward each other, navel in towards spine. Good. Come back through neutral. Hands are still clasped behind your head. And we're going to side bend again over to the right. So left elbow up toward the ceiling. Good. Back through center. And then left elbow down, right elbow toward the ceiling. And back through center. From here, release your arms out in front of you as if you're doing the Macarena. And then give yourself a hug. So my right arm is going to come underneath the left, and I'm going to reach back and maybe grab the shoulder blades. Your hands can stay here, or you can release them through center, coming into bound eagle arms. If this feels good to you, you can stay here. If you want to try a little bit more, you can sink back into your hips. Knees, but coming into a chair, eagle chair. Maybe if you want to challenge your balance, you shift your weight over into your right leg. Left leg comes up and over. Good. Coming back through center. If your left leg is bound, go ahead and place it down into the floor. If you're in chair, go ahead and press yourself up through standing. Lift your elbows up toward the ceiling, coming into a nice bound back bend. Good. Come back through center. And then release your arms out. Fly your wingspan open. And let your hands rest down by your sides. Good. Palms facing the back of the room as if you're pushing a wall behind you. You can keep your arms there if that feels good for your shoulders, or maybe you interlace your fingers back behind your back. Gently shift your weight into your right leg and slowly step that left foot back. Staying on the ball of that left foot, having a nice bend into the right leg. Good. Inhale, look up toward the ceiling. Maybe a slight back bend. Exhale, coming forward as if you're going to put your belly onto your thigh. Good. Inhale, back through center. Maybe you look up toward the ceiling, a little back bend. Exhale, back through center, belly to thigh. Good. Inhale, back through center. Last time. Look up toward the ceiling, a little back bend. Then exhale, belly toward thigh. Good. Inhale, back through center. Release your hands by your sides. Slowly step that left leg to meet the right. Palms facing the front of the room into mountain pose. Good. Just pausing here for a moment. On your next inhale, bring your hands back behind your head, interlace your fingers, and side bend over to the left. Right elbow up toward the sky. Back through center. Side bend over to the right. Left elbow up toward the sky. Back through center. Good. Release your hands out parallel to the ground. Macarena arms. And then give yourself a nice bear hug. Left arm under right. Reaching back and grabbing your shoulder blades. Feet are about hip width apart. You can release your hands through center, coming into eagle arms. And then maybe from here, you like to squat yourself back, sitting your seat back. Good. Shift your weight over into your left leg. Right leg comes up and over left. Working on our proprioception, our balance. Gaze is at something in front of you that's not moving. Good. Release that right leg to meet the left. You're in a nice chair. Standing straight up from chair, maybe getting a back bend and lifting your elbows up toward the sky for a down eagle back bend. Back through center, release your arms out, fly that wingspan open, and land your hands by your hips. Good. Palms are facing the back of the room as if you're pushing a wall behind you. Shift into that left foot and slowly step that right foot back. Interlace your fingers if that felt okay on the other side to give yourself a nice chest opener. Good. On your inhale, look up toward the ceiling, maybe a little deeper back bend. Exhale forward, belly to thigh. That front knee is bent. Good. Inhale back through center, looking up toward the sky. Exhale, belly to thigh. 2 more. 1 more after this. Inhale back through center, looking up toward the ceiling. Maybe a little back bend. Exhale, belly to thigh. Good. Inhale back through center. Release your hands as they're clasped by your sides. And then step that right foot up to meet the left. Taking a moment, let your shoulders wash down your back, your palms facing the front of the room. Good. Root down through your feet. Feel the 4 corners of your feet down through the mat. Palms are still facing the front of the room. Bring your hands to your hips. And then bring your elbows as if they were going to touch, and as if you were trying to hold a beach ball between your shoulder blades. Feet are again still hip width apart. I'm really holding that beach ball. Good. And then on your exhale, go ahead and sink your hips down as if you're sitting in a chair and release your arms out long. Good. Inhale, come back up through neutral, hands to hips. Elbows reach toward one another, shoulder blades touching. Exhale into chair, arms reach forward, booty sinks. Inhale, hands to hips, elbows reach toward one another, holding that beach ball. Exhale through chair. Good. Inhale, hands to hips. 2 more. Holding that beach ball, maybe a little back bend. Exhale through chair. Last one. Hands to hips. Shoulders or elbows reach toward another. Shoulders come together. Holding that beach ball. Then exhale into chair. From chair, go ahead and stand all the way up. Arms reaching toward the ceiling. And bring your hands together. Index fingers release. Good. Stand nice and tall through the side body. And then gently bend over to the side. Good. Coming back to center. Gently bend over to the opposite side or to your left. Good. Come back through center. 1 more bend over to the right. Great, back through center, and then over to the left. Back through center. Release your hands down by your sides. Wash your shoulders down your back. Palms facing the front of the room. And gently step that balance into your left foot. And step that right foot back, coming onto the ball of the foot, and then pivoting it down as if you were in warrior one. So my right foot is at a 45-degree angle. Good, hands are down by your hips. Inhale your left arm parallel to the ground. Flip that left palm toward the ceiling and come back into a reverse warrior. So bending generously into that left knee, gaze is maybe up toward the ceiling. Right hand can come to the hamstring or thigh. Good, taking your breath here and noticing a stretch from the left hip to the left fingertips. Good, on your next exhale, come forward, bringing your left elbow to your left knee. This is a modified side angle, so we're gonna bring our right arm long, reaching toward the front of the mat. Almost as if you're getting a stretch from the right toes to the right fingertips. Good, gaze is maybe down at the ground. Look down to where your blocks are. Reach your right hand down to the block, your left hand down to the block. Pivot onto the ball of that right foot, and then release that right knee down to the ground. Bringing your blocks or whatever you're using, your props underneath your armpits. Inhale, look up. Broaden across your collarbones. Good. Maybe you untuck those right toes. Maybe you leave them tucked. It's totally your choice. Inhale that right arm up by your ear, reaching towards the ceiling. And exhale, bend over to the left, getting a nice side body stretch on that right side. Good, maybe your hand comes back behind your head, looking up toward the ceiling. Oh my goodness, this feels so good. Getting a super good psoas stretch. Psoas is the workhorse between our upper and lower bodies. Got to give it some love. Good, release your right hand back up toward the ceiling by your right ear. Come back through center. Release that right hand down to the ground. Bring your blocks forward. Untuck those right toes. Lift the right knee off the ground. And then slowly, mindfully step the right foot up to meet the left. Good, from here, go ahead and raise yourself up. Palms press overhead. Release those pointer fingers toward the ceiling. This time, give a nice side bend to the left. Good, come back to center. And side bend to the right. Good, back through center. Hands down by your sides. Palms facing the front of your mat. Good. Shift your weight into your right foot. And gingerly step the left foot back. Coming onto the ball of that left foot. And then pivoting the left foot down so it's at a 45-degree angle, coming into warrior one. Take a moment here and land your feet. Spread through right foot. Spread through your left foot as much as you can. Bring your right arm parallel to the ground. Flip that right palm toward the ceiling. And on an inhale, raise it toward the sky, coming into reverse warrior. Bending into the right knee. Left hand can come to the left hamstring. Looking maybe up toward the ceiling or out in front of you. And getting a stretch from the right hip all the way up to those right fingertips. Good, one more breath here. And on your exhale, bring your right elbow to your right knee. Reaching long with that left hand, coming into a modified side angle. Again, feeling the length from your left heel to your left hand. Good, one more breath. And on your exhale, look down toward your blocks. Release your hands down. Pivot onto the ball of your left foot. Release that left knee down to the ground. You can either untuck those toes or leave them tucked, your choice. Bring the blocks underneath your armpits. Inhale, look up toward the front of the room. Getting a nice stretch across the collarbones, maybe sinking a little deeper into the psoas and the hip flexors. Good, inhale the left arm toward your ear. Exhale, bend over to the right. And maybe the left hand comes back behind your head and you look up toward the ceiling, feeling this amazing stretch for your psoas. And just noticing if one side feels different than the other. Good, inhale your left arm toward the ceiling again. Come back through center. Bring that left hand down to the blocks. Untuck those left toes, hover the left knee off the ground, and then gently, mindfully step that left foot up to meet the right. Good. And then slowly press yourself up. Bring your hands behind your head. Interlace your fingers. Give yourself a nice little back bend. Looking up toward the ceiling, elbows are wide. Exhale back through center. Hands down by your sides. Good. From here, go ahead and spread your feet as wide as your mat. We're going to come into a squat. If you can't get into a squat, I'll show you a modification. But for those that can, you can go ahead and squat yourself down. If you find that your heels are lifting a lot off the floor, you can use a blanket or your towel back behind your feet to give them some support. If you find that you cannot get into this pose, I'm going to go grab a chair option. So you can go ahead and grab a chair. So I'm sitting on a chair or something that will work, keeping my knees nice and wide. And then I'm pressing gently into my knees to give my inner groin a nice little stretch. Good. For those of you that are in the squat, you can go ahead and come down to your booty. And cross your legs. Grab your blocks in front of you and maybe stack them. I like mine super high. You might like yours a little lower. From here, sit up nice and tall through your seat. Reach your hands back behind your hips, stacking your spine. And then gently walk your hands forward, coming into a nice forward bend, maybe landing your forehead down into your block. And just noticing any sensations you may have in your hips. If that is inaccessible to you, you can grab your chair. Everyone else can stay right where they are. From my chair, you can either grab a table or maybe if you have sticks or something in front of you to gently give yourself a nice little forward fold, forward bend. Good. Maybe if you're in that forward fold, if you find that you're able to come down and shift your block a little bit more to a lower height, maybe you do so now. Just notice the quality of your breath. And gently, using your hands to support you, press yourself back up to a tall seat. Reach your hands behind you no matter what position you're in. Give yourself a little opener across the chest, reaching your arms way back, your shoulders washing down your spine. Good. Lean back a little bit more. Cross your legs the opposite position. Sit up nice and tall. And slowly walk your hands forward, landing again your forehead onto your blocks or your props, whatever you have. Keeping a nice straight spine. It's more about being straight and getting into those hips than it is about rounding the back. Same is true if you're seated. You can do that similar motion, reaching forward. Just noticing any sensations in the body. I feel a nice little tug in my glutes. Nice little hip opener on that left side. Maybe if you lowered a block on the other side, you do so here, feeling a little more into this pose. Gently walk your hands back up. Sit up nice and tall. Reach back behind you once again, opening through the chest. Good. Come back through center. If you're on a chair, wherever you may be landing right now, bring your left hand to your right knee, giving yourself a nice little twist over to the right. Good. Come back through center. And then bring your right hand to your left knee, twisting over to the left. Great. Come back through center. Now take your props or whatever you're using in front of you. Place them down. Grab that burrito roll. We're going to set up for Shavasana. So I'm taking my rolled blanket or towel and I'm going to place it directly over my blocks. I'm also going to do a little bit of adjusting. So I'm going to bring my blocks, my whole kit and caboodle towards me a little bit so that my ankles, when my knees are over the blanket, my ankles and my heels can reach the floor. Then I'm going to take this nice long rectangular blanket back behind me and shift it so that it's directly up against my hips. Once it's there, nice and long, it's worth taking a moment to make sure you get set up right. And I'm going to release myself back onto this blanket, landing, maybe adjusting a little bit. And then grab the upper part of your towel or blanket, and you can either fold it there to give yourself a pillow, or my preference is give it a little roll back behind the neck so you have some support. Good. Arms can be cactus. And then on an inhale, reach them up behind you. Exhale, bring them down by your sides. Inhale, reach your arms long. Exhale, reach your arms long by your sides. Good. One more time. Inhale, reach overhead. And exhale, hands down by your sides. Palms facing the ceiling, arms are stretched out away from the body, or maybe you cactus your arms, whatever feels good as you land onto your mat, into stillness, into letting your central nervous system know it's okay to relax. It's okay to be here. Just notice the quality of your breath. See if you can soften it. Relax the space between your eyebrows. Relax your tongue. Relax your jaw. Relax your neck. Let go of your shoulders. Relax your elbows. Relax your wrists. Relax your fingers. Relax your chest. Relax your lower back. Relax your hips. Let go of your knees. Relax your heels. Relax your inner arches. Relax your toes. Relax any frequency that's going between your ears. Gently welcome the breath back into your body. You can stay right where you are if you like, or you can join us as I cue you to sit up. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. On an inhale, give yourself a awakening stretch. Stretch your arms long, stretch your feet and leg long. Come back through center. Bend into your knees. Gently rock over onto one side. Maybe using your hand and arm as support for your head. Pause here on your side. Gently using your hands to support you, press yourself up to a seated posture. Staying with closed eyes, hands by your sides. Sit up nice and tall through your spine. On an inhale, raise your arms overhead, palms press. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Good. Another one. Inhale, arms overhead, palms press. Exhale, hands down through heart center. One more time. Inhale, arms overhead, palms press. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Chin tucks to chest. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. We bow to ourselves, acknowledging the light that lives within all of us as we say, Namaste. Thanks for sharing this practice with me. I hope to see you on the mat again soon, and hit me up if you would like a live yoga session. I would be happy to do that for you. Have a wonderful day. See you soon.